Hi, good afternoon. Lunchtime, Saturday. I do not know what the weather is doing today. If you've been out in it, you will know it is blowing a hoolie. Depends, I think I've said this before, the weather really kind of determines my mood. I love to see the blue sky. I love being out in the warm. If it's rainy and drab, I tend to sort of struggle to get going a bit. But the wind is one of those weathers which properly winds me up. Joanne, hi. Lovely to see you live. Yeah, the wind it just really bugs me. It gets on my nerves. So I have to wear like a massive hat, shove all my hair up into my hat and just sort of hunker down in it. And yeah, it's sort of sending the kids loopy as well, which is a bit interesting, how it influences their behaviour. And I'm sure they've done studies of kids shouting louder when it's windy in playgrounds. It's the most odd. But anyway, I didn't come on to talk to you about the weather. I came on to talk to you about, well, it's a bit of an extension of what I started the other day when I was out with my family by the water's edge, in one of my best places, in the sunshine, enjoying just having some fresh air, having some time outside, and just kind of loving that balance of being able to work and be with the family. So let me explain a little bit better now when everyone can concentrate. So I am committing to you that I'm going to share for the next 14 days something that I do in my business. Something that I teach in my business that I then do. So I'm calling it Walk the Talk. So 14 days of sharing different elements of things that I teach, that I ask people to implement, that I want them to practice. There's so many, this list is endless of the stuff that I kind of work through to pick my favourite 14. I could have probably picked out of 40, not 14. But I'm going to share like my top 14 things. So these are things which, through the process of working with me, I explore with my clients, and we progress, we make changes, we develop the ideas, and I'll be asking them to implement them. And what I'll share is not only, this is the theory and this is what I tell them, but I want you to see how I live them, because it's really important that you can see them used in a practical way, because theories are great, theories have their place, academic studies absolutely have their place, concepts, they all are there for a reason, but I personally will only connect to something when someone uses an example, when they have a story to tell me about the way that it worked for them and how they managed to use it. That's when I'll remember it, that's when I'll connect to it. So for the next 14 days, I'm going to share one of those things each day. I'll do a quick live with you most of those days, and I'll do a written post as well. For those of you on my email list, you'll get it emailed to you so you don't miss it. And let me remind you while we're here as well, please add your email address into the link that I've put in there, because there's a freebie waiting for you. So there's the guide to getting your business to fly online. That guide is there waiting for you. It just needs to be emailed to you. So if you pop your email address in there, it'll come over to you, and you've got that as your copy. You can save that then to download as yours. So if you aren't on the mailing list already, that's the way to get on, and you get a freebie in exchange for your email address, which seems fair enough to me. And then you'll get a copy of what I take you through. And then finally, before I go into my share for today, I'm corresponding these 14 days with opening up my diary for a chat. Now, these are called all sorts of things. They're called strategy calls, they're called discovery calls, they're called exploratory, they're all sorts. But I just want to call it a chat, because I don't want there to be any sort of perceived agenda. I don't want you to feel as though it's a sales call. What I want to do is to be able to connect with you and have a conversation with you, and that is my first offer to you. So I'll hear where you are at the moment, any dilemmas that you've got, any ideas that you're working on, where you might be at the moment in terms of possibly thinking about transitioning away from an employed position into running your own business. And if I feel that there's something that I have got that I do that might help you, of course I'm going to tell you about it. But equally, if it's just a case of just tell me what you do, and I can give you a couple of ideas, I can point you in some directions of some resources, then that's all it'll be. I've got the next 2 weeks are much more free for me before June starts ramping up properly, and I've got something very exciting to share with you, which I have to remind myself not to tell you too early. But there's going to be a lot going on in June, so during this 2 weeks I've just got a little bit more of a window to be able to add some calls in there as well. So that's what I'm offering. It's just a good opportunity to talk to somebody totally unconnected emotionally to what your ideas might be, and just to voice it, just to get it out of yourself in terms of the ideas that you might have is really powerful. So there will be no sales pressure in that. Kirsty left a comment in the group earlier on. She's been on a call with me. She verifies that there is no hard sell involved. I actually don't necessarily have a program to sell at the moment. This is really just about us getting to know one another. So those are the options for you at the end of this. So to book in a call, and you can do that just simply by dropping me a message, and we'll hook up a time. I don't have any complicated diary management systems. I do that, so just drop me a message and we'll hook something up. So let's move on to today. So today's topic is finding your happy. So big topic, and it can cover lots of different elements, and for everybody it's slightly different. So by finding your happy, I mean the way of living your life that feels overall like you're in a happy place. That feeling that you can wake up feeling calm, feeling tranquil, you sort of run your days feeling, yeah, life's good, life's okay, I'm enjoying it, you know, I feel happy about this and I feel happy about that. Now don't get me wrong, there are times in everyone's life when there's stuff you've got to do which does not make you happy. So cleaning toilets doesn't make me happy, but it's got to be done, doesn't it? In my business, I don't like doing the numbers thing, I don't like doing the accountancy admin, but I got to do it. I just get through it. Overall, we're talking very much overall. So how do I teach that? Well, the answer is I don't. I can't teach someone to be happy. You've got to find your own happiness. You unlock it yourself. Now, all I can do is ask you to ask yourself certain questions that help you along your journey of finding what that thing is. And it's about uncovering things that you perhaps buried, perhaps that you're not admitting to yourself. And it's about trying to get those to come to the surface a little bit more, because you might be living day to day, like hand to mouth, doing stuff that is fine. It's fine, it's just fine. But there might be stuff underlying that you're not admitting, which is affecting overall your ability to make yourself happy and feel your happiness. So through the coaching that I do, it's really about exploring what are those things that are important to you, what are your values, what on a day-to-day basis, how do you want to be able to live your life, and teasing some of those out, because not many people have that conversation. There's not many people you will talk to who will ask you these things. You're just supposed to sort of have it within you. So working with me is a journey of exploration to find those things that make you happy, and then kind of like let them grow. So you might tap into something and you go, yeah, I've actually always enjoyed doing that thing, but I don't get much opportunity to do that thing in my life at the moment because this happens and this and this and this. And then it's really about saying, well, how can we incorporate more time in your life to be able to allow you to do that thing that makes you happy a little bit more? So for me, how do I live my happy? How did I find my happy? And that's the key. It's that switch of being able to find it. So for me, it was about admitting, it was about being honest and saying that the life I thought I did want and the life I was pursuing wasn't the one for me. It wasn't about pushing myself forward in a corporate environment and really reaching and stretching for the next level and the next level. I thought it was, and for a long, long time it genuinely was, and it did make me happy. I loved what I did. But then I had my children and literally it switched, it changed, so that actually the priorities in my day-to-day life changed, and having to stay away was tough, travelling long distances was tough, leaving them with other people was tough when they were really small. So it was a case of having to admit that something I'd been really, really striving for and I'd loved doing, and that was sort of all I wanted to do, that was no longer the thing, and that actually there was two things over here that they were the things that made me happy, and being with them, being able to have time with them and be more present with them when I was with them as well, that was key for me. And when I took a decision to leave, I didn't necessarily know what I was going to go and do. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know what my options were. But having the relief of being able to admit that that wasn't what was making me happy, and there was nothing I could do to change that, that was my first step of my journey to making myself happy. And then when I started coaching, I took a decision to coach on a topic which just didn't feel right. And I could have given up then, and I could have said, do you know what, it's not for me. But I stuck at it, and I found my way through trying and through kind of trial and error, so that I found a niche now that I absolutely adore. And the people that I work with are getting all of me and all of the skills that I will happily give and share willingly, because I love what I do. So that route wasn't necessarily, wasn't a linear route. I didn't sit down one day and go, these are the things on my list that's going to make me happy, and when I've got those things, that's it. Because actually it's a continuous thing, and being able to be happy in your moment is a really crucial skill to have. So recognising the things that really do kind of fire you up and make you feel that happiness versus the things which really don't, and finding that balance, because as I say, you're going to end up having to do some stuff you don't like. So for me, it's really about getting to grips with where I like to spend my time, what makes me happy, how I get fulfillment, and then living into that as much as I possibly can. And there's exercises that I give clients to do as a process of that, which every now and again I will do as sort of instead of sitting down and journaling, I'll just kind of take myself through that and say, all right, so what can I do more of? How can I create a little bit of space in my day to do more of that? And how can I delegate that thing which I really don't like? So that actually it's a continuous process, but all the time it's about reflecting on, actually, overall, I'm happy right now, and really feeling that, genuinely feeling that, and being thankful and grateful. So happiness is different for everybody. So there is no magic pill. I do not tell, as I said, I don't tell people how to be happy, but I help them to see how that they can uncover what makes them happy, and then how to really push towards that and really create that life around there. So that is your first today. I'm going to pop that as a quick written post into the group, and as I say, if you're not on my email list already, find the link which is tagged at the beginning under the announcements, and you'll be able to add your email into the list. You'll receive a free Getting Your Business Online guide, and then you'll receive these on a daily basis for the next 14 days. So these 14 days, some will be big biggies, some will be small ones, but this is going to take us up to then my announcement for June as to what I'm going to bring to you in the way of the next level, extra training, etc. So have a great day, go and enjoy your weekend. If you go outside wearing a hat like me, make sure it's on nice and tight. Enjoy it, and I will see you really soon. Bye.